Hey guys, Mrs. Ferguson here. Miss you tons. I'm in this room. It's very empty with the exception of Mr. Croc here. Interestingly enough, Mr. Croc becomes not an important, but a character in our book, Louisiana's Way Home. And I didn't know that before we read this book. So kind of interesting how that worked out. Wanted to read a little bit more from Louisiana's Way Home. Where we left off, they had just recently driven up to a motel called the Goodnight Sleep Tight. And I think Grandma just told her to go in and convince her way into a room, thinking that most likely they didn't have money for a room. So just join me if you'd like to, and Croc, of course. All right before I walked into the office of Goodnight Sleep Tight, I saw a crow sitting on the roof looking down at me. His feathers were very black. "Hello," I said to the crow. He cocked his head. The sun was lighting up his wings. Granny blew the horn at me. "Well," I said to the crow, "as you can see, I'm not in charge here, so I guess I will have to move along." The crow cocked his head again, and then he flapped his wings and flew away. I still had a hold of Carol Ann's Christmas cookie tin. The last thing that Carol Ann had said to me was, "Sweetheart, you keep these cookies. You keep the whole tin." As I said before, there is goodness in many hearts, in most hearts. Actually, you know how I like to interrupt with my stories. Just heard a story about a man that was at the Kroger parking lot, and he was giving away toilet paper rolls to people for free. So I thought that was really, really, really cool. Look out for some kind people in this world if you hear of anything or see of anything, and let me know, because I thought that was pretty good. So just as she said, there is goodness in many hearts, in most hearts. Granny blew the horn again. I raised the tin up higher so that it was in front of my heart like a shield. I opened the door and went into the Goodnight Sleep Tight to use my charm and secure us a room. What choice did I have? The good news is that there was a vending machine in the vestibule of the motel office, and it was stocked with the most amazing array of things. There were toothbrushes with little tubes of toothpaste attached to them, and candy bars with caramel and nuts, and also bags of peanuts and rain bonnets that were folded up into neat little squares, and packages of crackers with orange cheese in the middle of them. The vending machine was such a miracle that I stood and contemplated it. I almost wondered if I was dreaming, but then Granny blew the horn again, and I knew it was not a dream. Nope, none of it was a dream. I opened the second set of doors and went all the way inside the Goodnight Sleep Tight office. There were black and red squares of shag on the carpet on the floor, and also there was an alligator. Crazy! He was dead, of course, but he was dead in a ferocious pose. I kind of thought, if you look at him closely, he's kind of a ferocious pose also. So let's see what they continue to say here. His mouth was open and all of his teeth were displayed. "May I help you?" said the woman behind the counter. Her hair was in curlers. "Hello," I said. I smiled, using all of my teeth. "My granny is recovering from some recent tooth surgery and we need a room." "You pay up front," said the woman. She pointed up to a sign on the wall that listed the prices for the room in red ink. It was a very empathetic sign. "Well, my goodness," I said after I studied the sign with a pretend interest. "Would you like a chocolate chip cookie with walnuts in it?" "Are you selling them?" "No," I said, "I'm sharing them." I opened the tin and held it out to her. She took 2 cookies. "This is a nice motel," I said. "I admire your vending machine and your alligator." The woman shrugged. She said, "It's all mine, and whoop-de-doo, and who cares? I never wanted it in the first place, especially the alligator. But that's how it goes around here, divorce settlement. You end up with all kinds of things you don't want." "You do?" I said. The woman took a bite out of one of her cookies. She studied me. "Don't ask me for anything," she said. "What would I ask you for?" "Assistance, mercy, I don't know. It's clear that you have a hard luck story, and I don't want to hear it." That's not very nice. "Well, as I said, my granny's in the car and she's recovering from tooth surgery. I will go and tell her that we have to pay up front. She is the one with the money." "Tooth surgery," said the woman. "Tooth surgery," I said. "And other tragic things have occurred, but it's probably best if I don't think of or speak of them right now." "Yes, don't." I stared at the lady, and she stared back at me. Granny has always said that long silences make people uncomfortable, and that sometimes they will say or do things they would not normally say or do in order to fill up the silence. However, this was not the case with the lady in the curlers. I was the one who ended the silence. I said, "Do you have a phone I could use?" "Obviously I have a phone, but you're not going to use it." "There are probably some people who are wondering where I am," I said. "I'm not getting involved in any of that," said the woman. She brushed her cookie crumbs from her hands. "Okay," I said. "My name is Louisiana. What's yours?" The woman narrowed her eyes. "What difference does it make what my name is? You're still not going to use the phone, and you still have to pay up front for a room." I smiled at her. "For heaven's sake," she said, "my name is Bernice." I kept smiling. I said, "Bernice, do those curlers really make your hair come out curlier?" "Why would I waste my time with them if they didn't? Go and get your granny. Nothing happens for free in this world, and I'm not the charity business, as you have surely ascertained by now." Bernice was right. I had ascertained exactly that. I went to the car to retrieve Granny. The Good Night Sleep Tight was a very clean motel. I know this because I looked under the bed, which is the first thing I do whenever I go into a motel room. Before Granny and I settled in the house in Florida, we stayed in many, many motel rooms, and I kept a collection of all the things I found lurking under the beds. A spool of thread, green, a ballpoint pen imprinted with the word Schwartz Excavating. The ink in the pen was dried up, but I liked the word excavating very much. Bobby pins. There's almost always at least one bobby pin under a motel bed. A bobby pin, for those of you that don't know, is a little pin that kind of keeps your hair up in certain spots. Maybe girls, you know what that is. Maybe some boys, since you have mothers and grandmothers and sisters and all those things. I do not know why this is so, but it is. Paper clips. Someone's letter to their Uncle Al. The letter started, "Dear Uncle Al." I can't remember what it went on to say, but I was glad that somewhere in the world there was an Uncle Al. I pretended that he belonged to me and that he was the kind of uncle who pulled quarters out of your ear and offered to buy you big bags of salted peanuts and cotton candy on a stick when you went into the ball game together. One time in Lucas, Alabama, I looked under a motel bed and found the skeleton of a mouse. I saved that too. I'm not afraid of mice or their skeletons. But when we moved into the house in Florida and Beverly and Ramey became my friends, I threw away my collections of all things I had found under motel beds because I thought that part of my life was over. Well, I guess I was wrong. In any case, the point I'm making here is that there was nothing at all under the Good Night Sleep Tight bed, not even a bobby pin. The bathroom mirror was spotless, and the toilet had a sanitized for your protection strip on it, which is really good right now. The water glasses were wrapped in paper. The Good Night Sleep Tight was very clean, and there were even 2 luggage racks, one for Granny's suitcase and one for mine. Also, there was a phone in the room, but it had a tiny lock on its rotary dial so that you could not use it without a key. Granny saw me looking at the phone and said, "Place no calls, Louisiana," as if I could. And then Granny got into bed and pulled the covers over her head and became, to all intents and purposes, invisible. I turned away from her and stared at the curtains, which were pushed to one side and were printed all over with little palm trees. A crow flew by. It was the same crow that had been sitting on the roof of the motel office. I recognized him by his shiny feathers. "Hello," I called out to the crow. "Close those curtains immediately," said Granny. Her head was all the way under the covers, and all of her teeth were gone, but she still knew exactly what everybody was doing and could tell them how to do it differently. It did not seem to me that her powers were diminished at all. It was very frustrating. I closed the palm tree curtains. There is something sad about palm trees cavorting all over curtains when you're not in Florida, but instead you're in Georgia. Why weren't the curtains printed with peaches? That is what I wanted to know. Curtains should be state appropriate. Lots of things, in fact, should be different from how they are. So I don't know if you know, but Georgia's known for peaches. They have lots of peaches we have lots of peaches that come from there. They're known for their peaches because of their climate, and it's perfect for growing peaches. So Anyway, I hope that you guys are starting to work on your work from Mrs. Justice and I. We are really trying to teach you some new things, review some old things, and I thank you for taking time to do those things. If you have any comments or problems, please give us a call. Let us know. We will be looking forward to keeping in contact with you through Class Dojo, email. Also, I should be able to post all of our chapters on Classroom, so you can look forward to that. And I hope you're enjoying your little goodie bags. If you didn't get yours for some reason because of the rush of getting things out today, please let me know, and I will send that home with you next week. So anyway, I miss you guys. I wish you were here. It's not as exciting with Mr. Croc. He just, kind of stands there. It's kind of boring. Did I tell you the joke about the roof? Don't worry about it. It's over your head. I had to share that. Mrs. Thomas's daughter, Peyton, shared that with us today. Thought it was kind of cute. So anyway, we're still here at school waiting to see if more parents show up to pick up work. I think most of you have been in here by now. And planning to be in here tomorrow again from 8 to 3. And just preparing another week for you. So it's definitely not as exciting here as it would be if you had been here. But hopefully you guys will send me some pictures. We have a something out on Facebook about certain days that we're going to celebrate, like a PJ day, and we want you to send us a picture in your PJs, in your comfy, cozy positions. We're going to try to have some more challenges out on Facebook for you, so watch that, the Columbia page. And everybody here at Columbia loves you. We miss you. We wish you were here. We're looking forward to getting back together with you whenever that might happen. And please stay safe, wash your hands, get some good sleep, and enjoy some family time. We miss you guys. Take care. Out.